Yeah, good to get back to practice. We need it. Obviously, playing in a huge physical game at Houston, it's always a recovery game because you know it's going to take everything you got to win it. And we made strides in the right direction defensively in the game. And you know, Coach Sampson's always going to have his teams ready for a good scrap, and that's what they do. It's the best team in our league since I've been in this league, and you know, it was an outstanding college game that we didn't finish, and we can play better than we did, and we can improve. But in this league, you better be ready for the next one, and the next one's the most important game on our schedule against a Colorado team that's undefeated in our league. Coach Boyle's got them playing with great offense and pace. They got good scores and really difficult to defend.
How does the 2-8 challenge you from a team like the aggressive on the boards?
Say that again.
How does 2-8 challenge you on the boards?
Oh no, they're big. It's probably the biggest team, one of the biggest teams in college basketball. I mean, their size at the three, at the wing and forward spots. I mean, just length and overall size is tremendous. So, you know, you got to beat them from your activity and, you know, how well you move and how well you hit first. And if they get you first, then you're leveraged and having a hard time. So it'll be a team rebound game with our guards, and got to be hitting first and got to be the more active team.
What has been the thing that you wanted to really work on in practice that is the key to after the Houston game?
Well, I did think our ball screen coverage was solid over the course of the game. Probably not as disruptive as we wanted to be. We only had really one steal that led to a turnover. If there's one area that we're starting to finally make some strides, I think our activity is what it needs to be. It's how well can we start to be more disruptive, you know, and creating advantages that can lead to baskets as opposed to just being in the right spot. And, you know, it's taken us a little bit to get to that spot. Now I think the activity in our hands and deflections and getting steals is the next step.
Last one for me. You talk about the importance of home games and maintaining home, but how important is it to still win these games on the road?
Well, I mean, we've had one of the best road records in conference play since we've been here. So, you know, those road games are they're dog fights, man. They're street fights. They're just competitive. They're as hard as you can play on every possession because the momentum's usually not in your favor, and you create your own momentum. And the way you do that is with extra effort plays. And thought we balanced that well at Houston, but you got to ramp it up and win a game, and that's the way you win them.
How does it help you guys having had that Houston game so early in Big 12 play?
Yeah, well, you know, it brings your attention and alert to how difficult it is to win in this league right to the forefront. I mean, you know, you play in what's been the toughest road environment in our league for the last couple of years right out the gate. And so I asked a few of our guys, actually, I'm like, hey, how's that compared to where you've played? And it's like, from a physical standpoint and an atmosphere, I mean, those guys haven't played anywhere that's more difficult. So it's good for us to see that and understand what it's going to take for us to do what we need to do in this league, which is improve every night.
Come on out, Chris. What are the biggest differences that you've seen from the Colorado team this year compared to the one you took on last year?
Yeah, I just think their guard play, their scoring, I mean, they're awesome offensively. And I think they went through stretches last year where they did have a difficult time scoring. Feels like this team has more weapons. I like who they're putting out there, you know, and they do have experience coming back too. I mean, that helps when you have experience at the rim, and their new guys being mostly guards, but still those guys have college experience. I mean, they got a freshman that's tremendous, but really you can see their confidence in the way they're playing on offense, and just gotta really be great on every possession defensively in order to have a chance to win at Colorado.
And then can you talk a little bit about how you've seen Jaylen grow so far and what is left for him to go on?
Yeah, Jaylen's approach every day is awesome, and that's what's allowed him to make such a big start to moving in the right direction. And it's fun because I talked to him before practices, and he's like, "Coach, I've watched the game twice against Houston. I was really disappointed in how my lack of physicality at the end of drives." And he's like, "I got to be more physical," and I let people bump me off, and my contests weren't good. He's just awesome because he's thinking through the game of how to win. He's not thinking like, "Oh, well, how do I make the more shots?" or "I missed that one." Of course, he's talking defense. He's talking winning. He's talking how he can improve, and I think his ability to improve will just be rapid because of his approach and how he handles his business every day.
I know Tyrese got into some games in pro too, but where does he kind of need to get to tap in and keep him on the court?
Yeah, I mean, that game against Houston there is no time to delay. I mean, every second, if you're not moving toward the ball, if you're not in an aggressive way trying to compete, you get behind. And the only way you can make up for it is fouls, and obvious fouls that referees in our league call. And so there's nuances to being physical that sometimes borderlines on fouling, and it's not like you don't want physicality. You just got to do it in a way that you're the early mover, you're anticipating. And Tyrese, just with a lack of playing time and a lack of experience when you get in those games, you can't be the second to create the advantage. You have to put your nose in the middle of it, and he was involved in a ball screen where he just went under it, and Sharp made his first three. And you got to be the first one to be aggressive and recognize you're guarding one of the best shooters in the Big 12, and so that's an example of where he's got to be on the anticipation and make a play side, and he's been a step slow, and that happens with not playing, not practicing, and then being injured. But I think he'll move in the right direction. He had a great practice today, and I would anticipate him being available and ready to go against Colorado.
And kind of just going into the season, you knew the Big 12 was going to be good, but like even the bottom half got stronger. Like West Virginia, Colorado look better, at least look better record-wise than what they were. So how do you kind of see this league and how hard is it even going to be to get the top 4 seed?
Yeah, no question the league is significantly better. I mean, you can look at the very top and know that we probably have, 3 or 4 of the best teams in the country. And then, to your point, I think our league is as deep as it's ever been, and Colorado's a great example. I mean, last year they were toward the bottom of the league, and now they're 2-0, and Coach Boyle's been unbelievable in the Pac-12. So, I mean, he's had NCAA tournament teams with lottery picks, and so he knows what he's doing. And I think he's got a team that you can tell he loves to coach, that's got good feel and understanding. And, man, I think people look back, and winning at Colorado will end up being a great win for anybody in this league. And so we know it's stacked against us on this one, and we've got to go compete and find a way to win.
And then just kind of looking at basketball as a whole, Kelvin, we talked about, there's a lot of good freshmen on the team. Jalen's kind of putting himself in that conversation now. But how much do you think the sport's kind of balancing itself out? You have these veterans as a JT, but all these freshmen coming in that are being so.
Yeah, it's been how do you get old and stay old? That feels like it's been the formula. But as you know, with all the newness on each team, the freshman's new too. So it's like it's not always as easy as people think. I mean, getting old used to be, how do you get a guy in your program and you've had him for 3 years, and then you're older because you got an older group that's been with you. Now the experience, I mean, you may have a guy that comes in as a freshman who, like Jaylen Petty, whose heart is to get better, and he loves hoops, and he will get better. He'll get better as fast as anybody in the country because of his approach. And so that's where I think you see such a great, I think you just look at the freshmen and the character in our league, and I think Kingston Fleming's a great example. I mean, his basketball character, his family, his high school coaches, his future, his summer team that he's played with, those guys are unbelievable. So he's prepared for this. That's the truth. And I think the character of these freshmen is really what separates them and allows them to make the impact that they need to at the highest level right away. And Colorado's got a great freshman at the guard spot who's doing the same thing. He's making that impact, and you can tell he plays with joy, and he's got a really good feel for the game. And I think that's what separates the guys that can come in versus just the transfers, is their character and their ability to love basketball and improve.